Hello, wild ones. I am working on a quilt patch. It's a little kind of tiny baby quilt. So I have a big piece of scrap fabric and then a smaller piece that fits within it. I'm not super measury. And then in between, I have some fabric that I probably thrifted. I think it's what goes in the top of a car, like in the headliner of a car. I know you can get it from the fabric stores as well, and it's just stiff enough and cushy enough. It's kind of like a middle batting. You could use batting, you could use actual fluffy batting too. And then I'm just gonna take some other scrap pieces and lay out a design and see what I see. And pretty much I'm just working with layering in work that is, or pieces that are raw cut, and I'm gonna do a lot of machine quilting on this one to just make sure all these raw edges are like hooked down. I kind of like that. Maybe I want to do this. And then I always like kind of a moonish shape as well. Do I want to hook those together? Or maybe like have it setting? No, I think I'm going to go have that by itself. Because this is kind of a felty fabric, I can just kind of squish it down. I've got kind of a very open piece, open foot design. It's number 20, Bernina foot or shoe. And I just like it. And I'm going to go I'm going to do a, what is it called? Zigzag all the way around. First on ramp to get on top of the fabric pieces, and then I'm going to switch it to a straight stitch, and this will go a lot quicker. And actually I think I'm just going to make my straight stitch a little closer together, and this is just a process of figuring out where you're at on top of the pieces. You could also accomplish this with a free motion if you're great at free motion, but I kind of like having the feed dogs and the firmness of it, and I really think it looks best when you go around it more than once. and maybe not directly on top of that first piece. You can see that this foot got all caught up in there, so I'm just going back in to the layers and setting it back down in the way I want to stitch it down. I'm going to go back up here. And now I'm actually going to not go all the way back down. I'm going to go off and come up onto this heart selvage piece. I feel like this line needs a little bit more zhuzh, so I'm going to go back to across a zigzag stitch. And you can like change it at any time. Go back to a straight stitch if you want. I think the silliness of it and the varied quality really speaks to the funkiness that I'm trying to accomplish. I'm gonna go off into that zigzag here, and then I didn't catch that at all, so I'm going to go back to the zigzag. And you could use decorative stitches here too. I just tend to really like zigzag and straight stitch, so I'm just going to do zigzag into straight stitch. I'll go back up here. Sometimes you'll notice like a little bit of a fold over that gets pulled a little bit, and because they're all still pretty loose, it doesn't really matter that it pulled. So reversing, back to a straight stitch. Why not? Back to a zigzag. Also follow elements on the fabric, and this is more of a free motion feel, and I just don't feel like switching feet, so I'm doing it very slowly. Trying to decide if I outline one of these hearts or not. I think I'm not going to. but I still need to get over here and get this guy. So I'm gonna go straight off the top, over, and then back in. Nope, I'm gonna go over there. Okay. So I'm gonna follow the plaid instead. Make sure it doesn't fold underneath that foot so that you don't get a good edge. Just gonna make another following the plaid moment. And I never want to follow the exact same line, so I went up over here, down below it. So I'm gonna actually go above. I'm gonna switch which line I'm following. Like that. And then I'm also going to go connect the moon on this side too. So I kind of have it like 4 points of connection. I often think about like the 4 directions, and this kind of is a nod to that from my perspective, but very few other people would ever catch that symbolism. And I don't like that one mistake I made. I'm sure I made many more mistakes than that, but I'm gonna just straighten this out a little bit. And then I'm going to put in a free motion foot, which looks like this. It's number 24, Bernina. It's a C-shaped foot. You see that? It's open in the front. And I'm going to try to place this kind of right back where I was. And then I'm going to do some free motion, which is a skill. And I like to make a mess I consider this like sketching. I catch that by accident. I'm just going to really highlight it. I'm kind of thinking of this as like a graffiti line. I really like a zero-waste studio as much as possible, so I like keeping my scraps to more this size and not this size. Okay, finishing our little packet or our patch with all the interesting sewing, and then this is the free motion part. I really like how that looks. I'm happy with how the piece turned out. I'm gonna find the edge that got the closest, and right here is our closest. One time, in again, a second time. I'm gonna put a little clip here, and I'm gonna get this this end, fold it in, so you just fold to the small piece and then fold it again. And I'm okay if it's a little wobbly. I know I'm unusual in that way. That's okay. I've been unusual my whole life. Okay. New bobbin thread. This is a multicolored thread, which is always kind of fun. And I have been liking how the zigzag foot or sewing looks on these. So I'm going to do a zigzag. Just making sure I'm tucking that edge in. And I did switch my foot back to open three. Now, I tend to not prep it. This is actually, well, I think I can do it. Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit thicker. So, depending on how wide your fabric is, you can kind of go thick and thin with this border. I think it actually adds to the fun of these pieces. But if you're a traditional quilter, this probably would not be the method you choose. But for me, I really want to be able to see some of this fabric, and I love the way it kind of makes a picture frame, but the softness of the picture frame being a little bit here, there, and everywhere. I'm fine with that. Okay, I kind of peeked around to see what was going on this corner, and it looks fine to me. I'll go back and stitch more if I needed to. I'm definitely a believer in if you stitch a little and you don't like how it looks, just put more stitching on and eventually you'll love it. I'm a maximalist when it comes to funky stitching. So I'm going in and in again and just getting that side ready to go. This is that's a pretty long bit, and this is pretty thinly folded. I am going to do a little reverse into this corner. And then back out. Okay. All of its glory. Let me grab a couple other patches I did tonight too. This one is obviously much bigger. The one we just finished. That's what front and back looks like. This one is a deli plate, jelly plate print. It's a hand-painted fabric, and that's what the back looks like. Some free motion and some machine stitching, but this is all free motion, everything that's on top of the Jelly Plates Free Motion. And then this little guy was also done tonight, and similar. I cut a moon out of a little piece I had to cut off. It's from a curtain, so I just need 2 moons that are the polka dot moons, and I did do the same square. This has a lot less stitching on it. It's a lot smaller piece, and it's straight stitched on the sides versus zigzagged. Actually, I think this is the only zigzag on the whole piece. Oh, and it's zigzagged all the way around to begin with too. But I love how they kind of complement each other. They might go in like a piece that is like a journal piece where they all are going together, but they might not. They probably won't actually. Those are a little too tightly, because they're the same back and the same front and the same moon. Those are a little too much sisters or twins to me, but they might go side by side. I kind of love that this has a little bit of like a boat feel to me, maybe like a sunset feel in Hawaii, and I love the poofiness of that headliner fabric, that inner lineness, and I like that it's structural enough that if you wanted to make something that was like standing up, it would stay upright. It's great in a bag, like the sides of a bag, because it's stiff enough that it'll keep that bag upright. I hope you enjoyed, and Wild Ones, keep stitching, keep creating, and just have a glorious and happy day.